The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Mark. One of the scribes came to Jesus and asked him, "Which is the first of all the commandments?" Jesus replied, "The first is this: Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is Lord alone. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, and with all your strength. The second is this: you shall love your neighbor as yourself. There is no other commandment greater than these." The scribe said to Jesus, "Well said, teacher. You are right in saying, 'He is one, and there is no other than He.' And to love Him with all your heart, with all your understanding, with all your strength, and to love your neighbor as yourself is worth more than all burnt offerings and sacrifices." And when Jesus saw that he answered with understanding, he said to him, "You are not far from the kingdom of God." And no one dared to ask him any more questions. The Gospel of the Lord. Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
In October, our church began the Year of Faith, marking the 50th anniversary of the beginning of Vatican II and the 20th anniversary of the New Catechism. Pope Benedict proclaimed this Year of Faith that we might in our lives encounter communion with our God, that we will cross the threshold and turn towards Christ in our lives, to encounter Him particularly in the sacramental life of the church, especially in the Eucharist that we celebrate. This Year of Faith is a time of renewal in faith and in action. So we are blessed as we begin this Year of Faith, as we seek to encounter God's grace in our lives, as we seek to encounter the presence of Christ in our families and homes, in our neighborhoods and in our parishes, in the workplace and in the community. In our constitutions, in the Congregation of Holy Cross, we know that our mission takes us across borders of every sort. In our mission as a community, we cross borders that are social and economic as well as geographic. As a Holy Cross community, we serve in our missions, crossing borders that we might open the door of faith in our own lives and open the door of our hearts in our service of the gospel and in service of the people that we serve in all of our missions, in Mexico, in Peru, in Chile, in Haiti, in Uganda, Kenya, and Tanzania, in Bangladesh and India. When you see the Holy Cross men and women serving in our missions, you can't help but have the door of the heart opened. At our parish in Monterrey, Mexico, Nuestra Madre de la Luz. You experience the wonderful hospitality and welcome of parishioners into their homes, sharing what they have with the stranger. And in experiencing their hospitality, the door of the heart is opened. In Leogane, Haiti, where the Notre Dame Haiti program is located, there are tent camps around the compound there. Many children live in that tent community. And when one sees those children and the suffering they endure, one is struck by the resilience of spirit that they have. They live in the moment, and they're always welcoming anyone they meet to play. They always seem to have a soccer ball with them. But when one experiences that resilience of spirit in their lives, the door of the heart is opened. In the Karasozi parish community in Fort Portal, Uganda, you find there in that parish a community of people who deeply believe in God's presence and mercy in their lives, people who face profound need, material poverty and destitution, and yet have this rich faith. They trust in the mercy of God and that God will provide for all that they need. And in witnessing that faith, the door of the heart is opened. At the St. Andre Health Clinic at Holy Cross Parish in Dandora, Kenya, the visitor sees a beautiful, clean space where people in the neighborhood are able to come to receive care and to find healing in their lives. And when seeing those people and the care that they receive, the door of the heart is opened. The Holy Cross men and women who serve in our missions embody this joy and gratitude. You see how much they love those they serve. You see how their hearts have been opened to the presence of Christ in those they serve. In the gospel text, Jesus teaches what he understands to be the greatest commandment. And in fact, it seems that he mentions two commandments that are the same. He says in his teaching, you are to love the Lord your God with all your soul, with all your heart, with all your mind, and with all your strength. And he goes on and says, and you must love your neighbor as yourself. That the greatest commandments are these: love God and love your neighbor. Love is the door of faith and action in our lives. Our love placed in service of the gospel to serve those in need, to serve the poor, the sick, the hungry, the lonely. This past January, I had the opportunity to visit our Holy Cross parish in Jinja, Uganda. I was able to preside at their Sunday liturgy, and after Mass, after I had taken off my vestments and I went outside into the side yard, I saw all these various circles of people gathered around the yard underneath these trees. And I asked a friend what they were doing, and he said that these were groups in the parish that were planning the events for the week ahead. So under the trees in these large circles were men and women and teenagers and married couples, single couples, all these folks gathered in these circles. One, a group of catechists preparing to teach. Another group, the parish council, looking at the agenda for their meeting that week. And another group, a circle of folks who would go out following their gathering to visit the sick and the homebound in their parish. And I saw here love at service to the world, a faith community that had gone from their celebration of the Eucharist, knowing the teachings of Christ, to love God and neighbor, and to put that into action as they went out to serve their parish and their community. In this year of faith, we are invited to open the door of faith, to encounter God's presence in our lives, to be in communion with our God, to cross that threshold as we turn towards Christ and find Him in our celebration of sacraments, in the Eucharist, and in one another, and in those they serve. I think of that gathering of the parish at Holy Cross in Jinja back in January, the Eucharist that we celebrated together that morning, and I think of the Eucharist we are celebrating right now. We, like those folks in Jinja at Holy Cross Parish, are all hungry. We all come to receive the presence of Christ in the bread and the cup, and we are nourished and fed. And we are all called to open the door of faith, to open the door of our hearts in service of our gospel, recalling the teachings of Christ, to love God and to love our neighbor. I want to take this opportunity to thank you for your generosity and support of our Holy Cross missions, your contributions, but most importantly, your prayers for our Holy Cross missionaries and for the people that we serve there. You take part in our life and our mission. So I want to express my gratitude to you for your kindness and generosity.